Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So, Stephon Marbury has reacted to this game, and one thing I will say is the Minnesota Timberwolves came out with a different intensity. Noticed Jaden McDaniels wasn't dying on the screen; they were fighting over the top. That forces Luca to have to exert more energy, because if you can see that right leg, he's laboring a little bit with that leg, and Luca isn't the quickest guy, but he doesn't even have the burst that he normally has. Um, so he's kind of just managing, using his step backs. That leg looked like it's probably about at 65, 70%. So I like them fighting over the top instead of him being able to walk into his shots if that's your game plan because he's been carving them up, finding Lively and Gafford for lobs. Now, Lively was out tonight and he was sorely missed. You can't put Dwight Powell in there, expect to get Lively's results because typically, you know, it's like they have two Daniel Gaffords, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes Lively, his rebounding prowess and his second chance opportunities he gives the team is is so electric that it allows them to put games away. He does a lot of things that show up on the stat sheet, but his presence with blocking shots and contesting shots and being able to switch and do a pretty decent job on Ant Man. We saw Ant Man was that game two or game three. He wasn't even able to get that shot off at the end of the game. So, um, Lively is very instrumental in what they like to do. So I want to highlight that. But the Timberwolves, it can get interesting if they win Game Five. I think Game Five, the pressure's going to be on the Wolves. Game Six, the pressure's going to be on the Dallas Mavericks if it does get to that point, because anything can happen in the Game Seven. And if you let these guys come back and have a Game Seven on their home floor, um, they'll have a chance to make history. But right now, if you're the Mavs, you just got to refocus and you got to try to close this thing out so Luka can get rest. Now, I think it can play to their benefit if they don't rest too long and they play a few more games because maybe Boston's a little out of rhythm and you still in rhythm if you play to like game 5 or 6. But let's listen to what Marbury had to say. Let's pick.
So the Thames won a game, which they should have won. It was a big game. Anthony Edwards, great defensive possession, forced the turnover, big three-point shot, big turnaround in the middle. The young blood showed exactly why he's speaking and talking all of the smack that he talks. I love it. As I said, the young Anthony Edwards, he reminds me of a lot of my generation, my class, the 96 generational class, the golden era. This kid is amazing. He put the Timbs on his back, him and Towns, and they led their team to a victory in Dallas. Big, big, big time. Super big time. Happy to see the Timbs won a game. It's definitely tough. It's an uphill battle, but they got the confidence to go inside of Dallas arena and win a game when it was a pivotal moment where they could have been swept. Big time, big time, big time Anthony Edwards with the big three. The kid is ferocious. We shall see. It's more games to play.
What am I supposed to say? I'm supposed to say we're going to lose game 5? No, I'm not going to never say that. Micah Parsons, he was rocking the 81s, and I told him he wears size 14. I'll bring back some nice shoes for game 6. That's what I told him.
I ain't gonna hold you too long, but I'll say this about the Minnesota Timberwolves playoff run. They look very dominant against the Phoenix Suns. Very scary team. First two games in Denver looked amazing. The two home games in the Denver series, looks like, okay, maybe they're a little too young. We anointed them too quick. Then they go to Denver, they lose a game. Then they go back home, they win. And we're like, okay, well, anything can happen in the game 7, but this is a good, it's a good season for them. But they done lost to the Denver. Denver's a champion. Denver comes out, they play, and then the Timberwolves, they take that game, man. They take it down the stretch. They actually fall behind 20 in that game. I think the score was 58-38 at one point. Come back and win that game. So now they're here. They show up versus Dallas, and now we like, there's two Minnesota Timberwolves teams, right? Because we had seen so many identities in that Denver series, and they go and they drop the first two games at home, much like champion Denver did to them. And then they drop game three, and we like, okay, it's a clean sweep. So now they win game four to keep their season alive. Presumably, they would have the opportunity to win game five at their house. And then you come back, you have to win another road game. Now, you can look at it like history. This is history that's on the line. If you're the Mavs, you kind of want to get this over, get Luka some rest. Kyrie will never probably play like that again in this playoffs. He won't shoot that bad. Um, so we're looking at that too. Probably gonna get a much better game from him. But if you are the Minnesota Timberwolves, see, this is how I think history will be. Um, we'll see it someday because we like in college basketball, we seen a 16 beat a one, so it's only a matter of time before we see certain things, right? Um, you won this road game, right? But looking at it in the future, like going forward, you got to win two home games and one away game, and you win the series. It like just looking at it from this point forward. So if you look at it like that, that doesn't seem like the most impossible thing for you to do. Now you're playing against Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. They probably get Derek Lively back. He didn't get concussed. I'm thankful for that because I want to see them at full strength, have a chance to win the series. But they're gonna have to make some adjustments there because they got whatever they wanted the last couple times those guys played. Um, last couple times that Derek Lively played full games, right? So they're going to have to account for him likely in game five. But as far as history being made, they got to win two home games and one away game. So we're going to see. But I don't think Luka and Kyrie is down to let that happen. I think Kyrie, um, he's probably going to put a masterclass on next game. Because I think the Mavs players are wanting to get this one over next game. Because, like I said, the pressure's on Minnesota. Um, but if Minnesota wins, then the pressure goes back on Dallas somewhat. So we'll see how it plays out, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, peace.